Hi, I'm Anita Grossman Solomon. I'm the author of Rotary Cutting Revolution. I'm in New York, in Manhattan, at the Pins and Needles shop. I want to show you one of my tricks, which is to cut 7 hexagon pieces of fabric out of one 10-inch square. To start with, I want to take you through a little hexagon history. This early 18th century quilt top is made out of small hexagons. They're about an inch, under an inch on the sides, 3/4 of an inch. And this was created by taking paper cut to the shape of hexagons, and fabric was wrapped around the paper, basted in place, as you probably can tell from these stitches. I'm going to turn this over and show you that it's only a top. The paper is still inside. It's English. Large pieces of fabric were wrapped around the hexagons, and then the hexagons were whip-stitched together. Let me go fast forward to my piece underneath it, which was made out of 60-degree diamonds. Each piece is a 60-degree diamond, and underneath it is a hexagon, because if you put 3 60-degree diamonds together, you're going to get a hexagon on the back. And this was done with my girlfriends Gabrielle and Carolyn. The front was brought to the back, and each piece was individually stitched on the machine and ready to go. If I move into the last century, I'm going to take you here to see 3 rosettes. At this point, this pattern was known as Grandmother's Flower Garden. There are 6 hexagons surrounding a yellow center. These pieces were hand-stitched. In this box is a newspaper clipping from Lansing, Michigan, April 1937. And these are hexagons that were cut out, and look at how they're joined together just for storage. They're basted together. The thread goes right through them. Here is the fabric that was used to cut them out. And if I lift this up and show you that underneath it you can see the 6 solid pieces. This was an incomplete rosette. There are hexagons surrounding it for a total of 12. So that's a little bit of history. Today I'm going to show you how I can cut 7 hexagons. In this case, I cut 7 gold hexagons. One was extra, it was left over, and I cut a red center. And I cut them from a 10-inch square of fabric. I'll just move this over and show you exactly what I did. I have a pattern that you'll be able to download from my website, www.makeitsimilar.com. There'll be 2 patterns on each page. You'll be able to print them out and cut them out. It shows a hexagon with a 1 3/4 inch side. I'm measuring around the outside edge. And the plan is to put this pattern over the fabric and to cut on the lines. In this case, I've cut the pattern out, and so that you can see it more easily, I've colored the cutting lines in green. Follow my fingers. Do you see this pink edge? This edge gets aligned on the folded sides of the fabric. I'm going to take that off and show you that I just took a layer cake, a 10-inch square, and folded it into quarters. In fact, I like my 10 squares to be starched. So by the time I've starched each square, I've taken it down from 10 inches to 9.5, and that's sufficient. Notice, or you will notice, that this is not even square. It's just a little under 5 inches, but it's not a square shape. I want to align this pinked out edge with the folds on the fabric. In this case, I've printed it out onto translucent vellum. I use Make It Simpler translucent vellum from C&T Publishing. Today I stapled the piece of paper onto the fabric so it wouldn't shift, but ordinarily a pin or a glue stick, a removable glue stick, would be sufficient. In this one, I'm going to cut on all the green lines and show you the magic. Notice there's 1 hexagon. This is a half hexagon. This shape is a 1/4 of a hexagon. Remember, these are 4 layers of fabric. So if I cut along those green lines, I should have 4 hexagons. This should yield a pair of hexagons, and this is a 1/4 hexagon. When I'm done cutting, it should be 1 hexagon. I pre-cut some of the lines at home. I don't have to be exact because I'm going to be wrapping these around paper. Just like this one. I'm not going to be machine sewing these. I'm going to whip stitch these by hand. But still, I think this is a remarkable way. Remember the fold once, and then the second fold? So if I flip these open, taking out the staple, I ordinarily wouldn't staple them. One, two, three, four. The direction is maintained no matter what you do. 5, 6. This is the waist, 4 times worth of waist, and the magic 7. Now, if you use fabric squares that you don't starch and they're going to be 10 inches, it's going to look like this. There'll be excess. So I've drawn a line in pink to show you that you could have a half hexagon with enough seam allowance for another project. And I think that that's pretty good from century to century to century. So please have a look at Make It Simpler Rotary Cutting. There are going to be some surprises in there for you.